somebody not named Luka Doncic, then they're not doing their job. It's as simple as that. And I really like Kristaps Porzingis. I love his game. 7'3", shoots the three, rebounds fairly well, can block shots. I mean, he's a very good player, but he's got one major problem. He can't stay healthy. He can't. I mean, look at this. He missed, and this is not 1 or 2 years. This is his entire career. He missed 16 games his second year in New York, 34 games his third year in New York, the entire season of 2018-2019, 18 games he missed last year, and this year he's already missed 13. And remember last year's playoffs, he missed 3 of the 6 games. They may have beaten the Clippers had Kristaps Porzingis been healthy. So my point is, I'm not giving Porzingis away. I'm not shopping him. I'm not looking to get rid of him. But open to trading him, if I got equal value, you have to be. Because as good as KP is, he just can't stay on the court. I mean, heck, we saw that last night too. And that's the problem with him. That's a great duo if KP's healthy. But can I count on him being healthy? He's had 2 knee surgeries as well. So that's my only concern with Porzingis. So again, I'm working the phones. I'm seeing what his value is, but I'm not just giving him away or shopping him. I'm doing my due diligence.
Chris, he actually has 2 problems. One is that he can't stay healthy, as you illustrated. And the second is that he's being paid like a max salary player. That's what he has. And while his numbers are good, and as you said, he's a very good player, is he a great player? I don't put him in that category. You guys have probably heard me say it before. Stars are guys who get their numbers. Superstars are guys who get their numbers, and they get other guys' numbers. Porzingis hasn't shown me a game that necessarily makes the other guys around him better. And when it comes to being paired with Luka Doncic, Luka is an offensive weapon, mastermind. But he's not all that great defensively. And while Porzingis' defensive numbers are good, he's a situational defensive player. Like, I've seen him in matchups where he's clearly intimidated, where there are certain guys that to look at Porzingis and go, oh, it's my time to eat. This is going to be my night. If I am building around a guy, especially a big, who's supposed to be the backbone of my defense because my other guy is my offensive weapon, that's not going to work if we're going for a championship. And let's face it, the Mavs might have been a dark horse contender for a championship this year. We found out way different. Same with Luka Doncic's chances of winning MVP. All that's by the boards. If they can move Porzingis and that contract, I say you do it. And to your point, if they're not exploring that, if they can't find a sucker on the vine for that deal that started last season, then they are missing the boat, because I do not want to grow old with Kristaps Porzingis' contract.
You know, for me, I think it's the height. We talk about this Lakers team, and we're talking about the West. And you made the point, Rick, right? They have to be a fast transition team, play small to have success. Well, when you think about Dallas, they're a long team. They got a bunch of long guys, and I think that they're seduced by height. I mean, when you think historically, that's where Sean Bradley played a lot of his best years, was in Dallas, right? They love having long guys, right? So you got Bobo in there, over 7 foot, right? You got Porzingis in there, he's over 7 foot. I know he gets hurt, and he stays hurt, but can he play? Can he give me minutes? Can we give him spot minutes? Can we give him load management? Even if he's not the most elite of elite, if I have that length and that height, this isn't a small running team. They do sets. They set Luka up. They create shots in half-court sets. To me, The reason why it's attractive to keep him, if you're going to keep him, is because of what you have being closer to the basket and allowing Luka to work and operate wherever he wants to work and operate on the court. So it's more or less looking at these guys as they're all role players, and our style of role player is a tall, long, create bad shots, alter shots type of guys. And I think that that's probably what they're looking at as the biggest value of having these type of guys on their team. And that's probably why it's difficult to say we want to let this type of length of a basketball player that fits our style, let them go in a trade.
Yeah, and the problem is, guys, they don't have any first-round picks to attach. Next year's pick is with the Knicks. They can't – it's going to be difficult, Rick, right? I think we'd all agree, to unload Porzingis. You got to find a GM really asleep at the wheel, willing to take on that deal. I'd love to see Bradley Beal next to Luka Doncic, but there's like no scenario where that's even humanly possible. They would destroy in the West. The real problem with Dallas is, they're ninth in the West. A 500 team. If Porzingis can only play half the games the rest of the way, and their other pickup, Josh Richardson, has been a nightmare. I mean, he's a shooting guard who can't shoot. He's at 31% from three. Like, they lost that trade badly, giving up Seth Curry. That was just a horrible deal. So Dallas is in a tough spot. And it's funny because I think, guys, last summer we were like, ooh, Dallas, everybody's going to want to play next to Luka. Maybe they get Giannis next to Luka. Like, everybody's going to want to play with him. And all of a sudden it's like, oof. They're not really built to contend. Like, they better get it together to keep Luka in Dallas long term because this does not look like a team that's remotely close to being one of the better teams in the West.
Yeah, there's also...
I think they'll play better.
Go ahead, Chris.
Go ahead, Rick. Go ahead. Well, I think they'll play better in the second half of the season. I think they'll play better in the second half of the season. They've already played better. Luka's got his three-point stroke down. We saw that last night, obviously. So I expect improvement. I expect them to move up toward that top 8 for sure. Here's the thing with Porzingis, though. He's probably a third best, even if he were healthy. He's probably the third best player on a championship-type team. And that would be great because maybe you can get that second guy. The problem, as Rick brought up, is he's paid like a first or second guy. So that is a problem with him as well. So, look, again, they're not going to give him away. But if you can find equal value, then I think you can move on from him for sure.
He'd be a great fit for the Lakers.
The other challenge here is there's been a bad vibe around this team. From what I've heard, and some of it's just disgruntlement because they were supposed to be a lot better than they were. But I'm watching very closely the relationship between Rick Carlisle and Luka Doncic because Doncic is the type of offensive player who likes to run the show. And Rick Carlisle is the kind of coach who likes to run the show. And I don't want to read too much into this, but if you guys go back and you look at when Doncic hit the game winner the other night, look at Rick Carlisle on the sideline. Oh, no. He's right there. Doncic hits it, and he turns the other way and walks down the floor. Now, maybe there was something to consider. Maybe he had something to think about. But in a normal circumstance, I would have expected some kind of reaction, connection between the two of them. And there's none of it. So when he comes, he hits this shot, bang. This is the game winner, right? Oh, what? Wait a minute. Where's my coach? Where's he? Oh, I'm going to turn and I'm going to walk down. Like, there's no interaction between these two. And again, I'm not trying to make something that's...
Yes, you are.
Yes, you are.
Yes, you are. But that's exactly what you're doing.
He was clapping, Rick. He was clapping.
He was going the other way.
While he was walking away.
Look, I know the freedom that Doncic wants. And and Carlisle sometimes it's just a matter of who's really running the ship, who's the one who's going to make the decisions here in how we play. And Doncic wants to play an open style. LeVar, to your point, they would be better, I think, playing fast and playing faster with Doncic. But generally, that's not how they play. And I would dare say that may even be part of why Josh Richardson is struggling because he would play better in an up-tempo, playing fast system. So just something to, it's just something I want to keep an eye on because